there's real life, and then there's what we create for Sunday mornings. And the Christianity that we create for Sunday mornings always has to end with a bow and a resolution. And the truth is, most of us are dealing with stuff in our lives that may never resolve and don't end with a pretty bow. And in fact, sometimes it ends in a massive disaster. We've almost lied to our congregations by telling them everything's gonna be okay. And it is, everything will be okay, but it may not be okay till you get to heaven. Because sometimes stuff is just stuff, and it's not gonna resolve, and it's not gonna turn around, and you're not gonna be able to just claim your victory. The perfect ending is in eternity. It's not promised on earth. And we try to, every Sunday, we try to end it with this bow. Sometimes it's just jacked up. And that's what we gotta deal with, is that it's jacked up. And that's why you have to develop resilience, so that in that moment, in that adversity, you can be like, hey, this is jacked up, but I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and just keep going and try to figure out what's next, because I can't resolve it, and it won't resolve. When we got married, we had talked about we wanted to adopt at some point, and we definitely wanted to adopt cross-racially. We didn't want to adopt a white baby. And so we started trying to have a baby, and it wasn't working. And we had done fertility and all kinds of other stuff, and it just wasn't happening for us. We said, let's just move up our adoption process. So I remember going to the adoption agency, and they give you this form, and you fill out the form, and you start to answer questions about the kind of baby you want, which is like the craziest thing ever. Like, you're choosing your child. And so you get to like race and gender, and like the first thing we X'd out was like white people. We don't want any white people in our life. We just want a baby. We start the process in October, turn in all of the paperwork in January. They call us in March and say, congratulations, it's a Friday afternoon. You're now just waiting for a baby. Monday morning, they call Jackie and say, congratulations, you have a child. He's 1 month old, and you pick him up on Thursday. And like Zay's ours forever at that point. Isaiah was asleep. I came in the house from work, and Jackie was like, oh crap. And I'm like, what? And she's like, I just took a pregnancy test, and it says I'm pregnant. So then we spend like way too much money on 1 million pregnancy tests. Ashlyn was born on December 18th. And the doctors were like, if you don't get pregnant in the next 12 months, it won't happen. You will not have another child. 4 years later, we're pregnant, and we have twins. So Hope and Grace appear on the scene of the narrative at this point. Hope was born with bilateral club feet and kyphoscoliosis. And so she underwent 2 surgeries before she was even full term. The severity of some of the things that were going on with her bone structure were really, really serious. And so Hope ends up having, she ends up having 5 surgeries before she's 5 years old. Through that whole process, we end up finding out that Hope has an emotional disorder, a severe emotional disorder. And people are telling us, like, your kid's demon possessed. They're giving us books and CDs and all these things, and we're like, no, it's not a lack of faith, and it's not a lack of prayer. It's just a broken situation. We live in this culture where, well, I work at church and I give everything I can to ministry, so why would I not have some special protection on my life? And I don't know, maybe that does exist somewhere, but it didn't exist in our family. You know, you definitely have those moments of having to wrestle with did I do this or did I cause this? And even if your head knows it's not true, convincing your heart sometimes is really different. And being able to rationalize and reconcile that that's not true. And I think that's where having the right community is valuable, regardless of where they are. That you're able to go to somebody and have a conversation about, this is the story I'm telling myself right now. Help me navigate what's fact and what's fiction, because I can't right now. I'm not able to do that. If it's not my responsibility, help me get out from underneath this feeling, because where it leads isn't healthy. We read all the statistics about special needs kids and parents, and like the divorce rate on a healthy family is 50%. You add a kid with Asperger's, you add a kid with the situations that Hope deals with, and then you add ministry to it. So Jackie went to counseling, and she went to this counselor, and after like 2 sessions, he's like, you don't need to come to me. You and your husband need to go to marriage counseling, because you're 2 trains that are running on parallel tracks, but you're not connected. And so I was like, sure, we'll go to marriage counseling. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't need to go to counseling. Within 6 months, I have 2 counselors. I have a marriage counselor and a personal counselor, because I had stuffed every emotion and deep frozen every emotion just to keep moving, just to adapt, and just to keep processing. There's parts of you that have to be rewired, and there's parts of you that have to just be refaithed. Had we not done counseling, we'd have never made it. As hard as some moments of life have been for Jackie and I, there's people that are dealing with way worse. Like, even when we took Hope to that hospital in Boston, it's Boston Children's Hospital, it's like the best hospital for kids. We're walking through there with Hope, and I'm seeing kids that have cancer. And so when you can, like, just for a second pause, like zoom out and gain some perspective. Whatever happens to me in my job today, I'm not some kid living in a hut in Haiti. Whatever relationship I lose today, there's another one I can go find tomorrow. Perspective, I think, plays a huge part. If you don't get that perspective right, you're in big trouble.